Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here's the problem. If you have your bowl blank mounted on a faceplate or on a woodworm screw, right, then this does not necessarily apply. Because if it's on a woodworm screw or on a faceplate, you don't have the tailstock up to support it. And if it's a large bowl and you do have the tailstock up here to support it, then what I'm going to do is going to apply. Okay. Everybody, right? I have seen a lot of people when they have it mounted between centers and they have to make a recess for a side grain bowl. What they do, they're trying to get up and the tailstock is in the way. And under it blocks the tool and they can't get under and make a recess, dovetail. Some people try to use, skews and parting tools and all gizmos. So what I've done, if my students come to my shop, then for safety purposes, I don't allow them to struggle with that tailstock up there. We go and we take this tool, right, that we have used, right? And now, let me move my tool rest up just a little bit. There we go. So now we have a right angle here. This is tapered off at about 7 degrees. And everything has an undercut. So now if I put the 7-degree side here parallel to the wood, then you can see it automatically makes a dovetail with the right angle. And when I go in, if I push this in, then it limits how deep the dovetail is. So it'll be on my chuck correctly. Let's turn on the lathe. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to make this to the size of our jaw. So if I touch this surface right here and I push in, now I've made my dovetail. And for here, then all I have to do is take this. I can push this side forward. So now I have a perfect dovetail that will fit my jaws. And it's very safe because I'm not over here messing around the tailstock. I've got total control.
Works like a gem.
So I know there's a lot of people that do things a lot of ways, but why not have a tool in your drawer that does the job automatically? It's perfect every single time.
That's nice, Mark. Thanks.
Yes.
And you can make them, if you make it out of a little bit thicker stock, that was a real thin one, right? You see, it's the same thing. We're going to parallel the 7 degrees. And if we push in, just do it real slow. Then I can go forward and clean that out. And what I have to do, let me move my tool rest just a little bit. It won't make any difference on a recess, but I always prefer, and I push it forward. Then that cleans that out. And when I go to finish my bowl, let's say that I'm making a bowl here, and that this is the bottom. let's say that this is the this is the actual bottom of the bowl. Right? Then all I have to do is take that out. Right, let me make this a little bit more prominent. That would be the bottom of my bowl. And with the bowl all hollowed and turned around, then I could put the bowl either in the cold jaws or have a point here, right? And make the nice clean recess on the bottom, you know, take the little tit out and sand it. So
Nice.
for a safety factor, right, just make sure, right, that you create that little right angle, 7-degree drift, and the rest is irrelevant. Make sure that it's undercut so that the top edge is always a cutting edge. Any question?
Can we see the back of that tool? The bottom? There you go.
Yeah. But it's just, see, it's been recessed here by having that little platform on your grinder. So the top edge is the only thing that's cutting.
Yep.
Sweet.
Works as demonstrated.
So remember, when you're
Sweet.
doing a side grain bowl, yeah, when you're doing a side grain bowl, right, the safest thing you can do is put a recess on it. If you're doing an end grain bowl, the safest thing you can do is put a tenon on it. How many people that are watching tonight have put a tenon, a small tenon, on a side grain bowl and put too much pressure on the outside and have that side, that tenon on a side grain bowl just slice, just chip right away?
Not me.
So try to always be safe, right? If you're doing side grain, put a recess. If you're doing end grain, put a tenon. And you'll,
Mark,
I've never had a recess ever break.
right. Mark, can you hold the tool back in the view of the camera and explain the angles on it again? We have a question in chat about it.
Okay. This is a right angle. This is canted off about 7 degrees because I use the one-way chucks and they have a 7-degree dovetail on the outside of the jaws. And then this can just be any angle, doesn't make any difference. No, what's the question?
Matt, does that answer your question?
The bottom underneath the cutting edge is slightly undercut. Is that correct?
That's correct. Everything.
Oh, I see now. Okay. All right. Thank you.
That way, only the top edge. And then if you have to go back to your grinder just to, touch up all you got to do is just touch up that, or you could hone it with a diamond hone.
And the right angle is slightly, like you said, it was like 7 degrees or something like that, or is it just a straight right angle?
This is 7 degrees off. This is a right angle, and this
gotcha.
is
Okay.
off. So when you put this parallel to the wood, then the right angle is going in and making the dovetail.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Any other questions?
No, I believe that's it.
I know you guys know that I make all kinds of specialty tools because number one, I want safety. And number two, if I have to do one operation, then I pull out that tool that's designed to do that operation efficiently and safely.
Great
And it
tool.
takes all the guess. You can't be messing around this tailstock, you know, like this and trying to get these tools up underneath and all that. Anyway, I'm not, there's 1,000 ways to do things, but I'm just showing you my way to do that so that it's safe, it's clean, it's exact. Every time you do it, everything's exact. It's not too deep, it's not too shallow. You know, it's just right for my jaws.
Very effective. I know I made one a couple years ago when you showed it a couple years ago.
Yeah, a lot of my students, we just take these old tools and we turn them into specialty tools.